Imagine it's an ordinary Tuesday. You wake up, make coffee, take a walk, open your laptop, work on something you actually enjoy, not because you have to, because you want to. Your phone vibrates, another work email, another calendar invitation. You glance at it, smile, and quietly close the laptop. Not because you're unemployed, not because you're lazy, not because you became a millionaire overnight, but because you don't need this job anymore. Outside your window, nothing feels different. Your neighbors rush to work. The coffee shop has its usual morning line. Cars crawl through traffic. People complain about Mondays even though it's Tuesday. The world looks exactly as it did yesterday. And yet, everything has changed. You escaped the rat race, and nobody noticed. 5 years ago, life felt completely different. Your paycheck wasn't just money, it was survival. Before every payday, you mentally counted the days. Rent, utilities, insurance, groceries, gas. Every dollar already had somewhere to go before it even reached your account. One unexpected expense could ruin the month. A $900 car repair, a $600 medical bill, a broken laptop. Suddenly, your carefully planned budget disappeared. Back then, you believed what most people believe. If I earned another $20,000 a year, everything would be easier. Eventually you did. Your salary increased. For the first few months, it felt amazing. Then something strange happened. You moved into a nicer apartment, bought newer furniture, started eating out more often, subscribed to services you barely used. Within a year, your bigger paycheck felt just as small as the old one. This is called lifestyle inflation. Your income grows, your spending quietly follows. Your brain adapts so quickly that yesterday's luxury becomes today's necessity. That's why someone earning $250,000 can still feel financially trapped. Meanwhile, another person earning $90,000 might be building genuine wealth. The difference isn't always income. It's the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Then one afternoon, while looking at your bank account, something clicked. You stopped asking, "How can I earn more?" and started asking, "How can today's paycheck make tomorrow easier?" That single question changed every financial decision afterward. Instead of immediately investing, you built an emergency fund, 3 to 6 months of living expenses. If life cost you about $3,500 each month, you slowly saved somewhere between $10,500 and $21,000. Friends joked that your money was just sitting there. But they missed the point. That cash wasn't earning impressive returns. It was buying peace of mind. Then came debt. You realized carrying $8,000 on a credit card charging 24% interest meant losing almost $1,920 every year. Imagine trying to earn 10% in the stock market while losing 24% somewhere else. Mathematically, you're swimming against the current, so you paid the debt first. It wasn't exciting. Nobody congratulated you, but every payment quietly increased your future income by eliminating future interest. With debt under control, you automated your investing every payday. The same amount. No emotions, no guessing, no waiting for the perfect time. Let's imagine you invested $500 every month into a diversified index fund. After 1 year, you would have invested $6,000. After 10 years, about $60,000. Now suppose those investments averaged roughly 9% annually over the long term. Instead of being worth only your contributions, your portfolio could grow to roughly $95,000. That extra $35,000 wasn't earned by working overtime. It was created by compounding. Compounding is simply earning returns on previous returns. Imagine planting one apple tree. A few years later, it produces apples. Those apples contain seeds. The seeds grow into more trees. Eventually, the orchard expands faster than your original effort. Money behaves in a remarkably similar way. The longer you leave it alone, the harder it begins working. That's why the first $100,000 often feels painfully slow, but the next $100,000 usually arrives faster, not because you suddenly became smarter, because the money you've already invested has started helping. One Friday afternoon, your manager asked, "Can you work this weekend?" Years ago, you would have immediately said yes. Not because you wanted to, because you couldn't afford to say no. This time, you actually thought about it. You realized you had a choice. That feeling surprised you. Months later, your company announced layoffs. The office was filled with anxiety. People updated their resumes, whispered in meeting rooms, wondered whether they would be next. You felt concerned, but you weren't terrified, because your emergency fund existed. Your investments continued growing. Your monthly expenses were comfortably below your income. One paycheck no longer controlled your future. For the first time, you understood what financial freedom actually meant. It wasn't never working again. It was never being forced to work from fear alone. Here's the strange part. You thought escaping the rat race would feel dramatic. It didn't. There were no fireworks, no celebrations, no viral success story. Your neighbors still thought you had a normal job. Your friends still assumed you worried about money. You still drove the same dependable car, still shopped at the same grocery store, still lived a surprisingly ordinary life, because real wealth usually doesn't announce itself. Luxury gets attention, freedom doesn't. Social media rewards appearances. Money rewards consistency. The loudest person in the room isn't always the wealthiest, often. The wealthiest person is simply the one with the fewest financial worries, the one who quietly spent years building options instead of appearances. Looking back, you realized escaping the rat race wasn't one giant decision. It was thousands of tiny ones, skipping unnecessary upgrades, automating investments, avoiding expensive debt, giving compounding enough time to work. Each decision felt insignificant on its own. Together, they quietly changed your entire life, and that's why nobody noticed. Because your freedom wasn't built in public. It was built in silence. One ordinary Tuesday, one ordinary paycheck, one ordinary decision at a time. If there's one thing I'd like you to remember from this video, it's this. Escaping the rat race isn't about becoming richer than everyone else. It's about gradually replacing financial pressure with financial choice. Every dollar you save, every debt you eliminate, and every investment you make is quietly buying a little more freedom for your future. One day you'll wake up, make your coffee, look out the window, and realize nothing around you has changed, but everything inside your financial life has, and that ordinary morning may become the most extraordinary moment you never saw coming. I'm Morgan Vowles. Build small, grow strong, live free, and I'll see you in the next video.